The display floor of Auto Expo 2023 somewhat reflected the mood on the Indian streets. SUVs were the showstoppers here as well. With 10 new launches, including EVs and EV concepts in the SUV or SUV coupe form, automakers are racing to fulfill the growing appetite of Indian consumers for large, family-size vehicles. From the Grand Vitara-sized EVX concept to the all-new Fronx YTB crossover and the 5-door Jimny, the country's largest car maker Maruti Suzuki has finally put its SUV project in the top gear. Other major brands have already taken advantage of this SUV craze. Most major OEMs, including Lexus, MG, Kia, and Tata, led their major car launches with SUVs. Auto manufacturers unveiled a flock of new models across price ranges and engine variants. Kia, for instance, showcased its futuristic EV9, an electric SUV concept based on eGMP architecture, which is set to make its debut by the end of 2023. Hyundai's Ioniq 5 is also an electric SUV with a 72.6 kilowatt-hour battery, a driving range up to 631 km on a full charge, and a starting price of Rs 44.95 lakhs. Tata, which leads the passenger EV sector with more than 80% market share, unveiled 12 new vehicles including the Sierra electric SUV concept, the SUV coupe Tata Curve, and a facelift and update on the Tata Harrier. The Curve concept will be first built as an EV before the ICE or internal combustion engine variant hits the market, while the Sierra concept, unlike the older Sierra, will have a 5-door SUV setup. Lexus too had its flagship SUV, the LX 500D. It also launched Lexus RX in India. MG led with EHS, a mid-sized SUV, while also presenting a facelifted Hector. These were besides the several updated and facelifted offerings of Toyota and other brands. So, why are an increasing number of SUVs entering Indian homes?
OEMs sell what a customer wants, right? And then from that perspective, the customer demand for SUVs, to my mind, is for two big factors. Factor number one, Indian families like to travel together. SUVs offer them cabin space for them to travel more comfortably, maybe have an extra member travel along with them, more headroom space. So, that whole concept of the Indian family moving together suits better towards an SUV. And the second biggest factor to my mind is our roads, right? The condition of roads is not the best in most of the places, and an SUV, because of the height that it has, the car doesn't hit the ground. It's a little more comfortable driving for the people sitting on the back seat, etc.
A taller driving stance, more upright and commanding road presence, larger tires, flexibility, and maximization of space are some of the factors that explain the rise of the SUVs. The elevated driving position gives better control to the drivers, while the higher ground clearance lets the driver negotiate Indian roads better. The former Director General of the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, Dilip Chinoy, explains.
The SUV today gives you the same riding comfort and facilities as a sedan did. Earlier, the SUVs were not as comfortable or as fully loaded as the sedans were. Second, if you look at today's SUVs, you're getting a lot of variations of hybrids, mild hybrids, and also other powered vehicles, which give you significantly higher mileage than what they gave earlier. The third is, the SUVs have greater space inside. They have a greater road presence and are also, higher ground clearance there. And therefore, there are much preferred vehicles in Indian road conditions.
Nandeep Vaidya, an associate professor at the NMIMS Anil Surendra Modi School of Commerce, however, highlights the possible challenges and measures needed to sustain the boom in SUV consumption.
Now, there is no major downside to this, but there are certainly some challenges which one may want to consider. And since they are wider vehicles and bigger vehicles, particularly in the larger cities, metros, you have challenges for parking, you have challenges for maneuvering vehicles, and therefore, to that extent, you have to overcome that by a better infrastructure on the road to handle these vehicles. Secondly, the vehicles have to be sturdy enough to withstand the road conditions. And thirdly, they have to meet the environment norms as are called for globally. Therefore, the EV part, which also is heartening, that a lot of EV launches are happening in this segment.
Chinoy disagrees though.
The SUVs actually, they are in length shorter than the sedan. And I don't think there is a challenge with the infrastructure. The Indian infrastructure, road infrastructure is growing tremendously. Within cities where there is high density of cars, etc., between an SUV and a sedan, the choice is the road congestion is not significantly different. So I think the infrastructure would be sufficient for this.
Experts believe that SUVs are likely to dominate the Indian roads in the days to come. Equipment manufacturers are also warming up to the full magnitude of SUVs' rise. However, they do believe that a faster adoption of EVs into this segment will be key to the long life of SUVs on the Indian roads.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.